Matchmaking in World of Warships isn't broken. It's much worse than that. Stick around, I want to explain it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Normal Guy of the North today, and you're getting yourself a Canadian twofer. So you guys can go look that up. That's actually Canadian slang. So today we're diving into one of the most frustrating questions in World of Warships. Why does matchmaking feel so damn bad? Why do we constantly get blowout games, and why do matches end so bloody quickly? If you've ever queued up only to watch your team collapse in under 5 minutes, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's not just bad luck, there are actual reasons why blowouts are so common now in WoWs. So in this video we're going to unpack all of it, the way matchmaking works, point systems, skill gaps, divisions, maps, player behavior, and what could actually be done to make matches feel just a little bit fair, a little bit more fun. Okay, let's start with the matchmaking itself. World of Warships uses random matchmaking. The system balances teams based on ship types, tiers, and numbers, but it does not balance based on player skill, and that's important. What does that mean? Imagine one team gets 3 players with thousands of battles and a 60% win rate, while the other team gets 3 brand new captains who barely know how to aim torpedoes. On paper, the matchmaking looks balanced, air quotes, balanced. Keep your thumbs up. It looks great. Both sides have the same number of destroyers, cruisers, and battleships, but in reality, the actual skill difference is massive. And I'll talk more about that later. And here's why our WoWs is unique. It's a game with no respawn, except for Unbreakable Line, which is fantastic. One bad push, one early broadside battleship delete, and your team isn't just down one ship. You've lost spotting, map control, firepower, and usually morale from that at this point. From there, the snowball begins, and suddenly the scoreboard looks like 7 ships to 2 in just a few minutes. Except if you shoot a carrier across the map, then that does raise your team to high levels. This is why blowouts feel so common now. Random matchmaking creates swings, and the game's design makes those swings spiral out of control quickly. Unlike many shooters or multi-online battle arena, WoWs doesn't wait for every last ship to sink. Matches are decided by point-based victory conditions. Team earns points for capturing objectives and sinking enemy ships, and they lose points when their own ship goes down. The match ends the moment one team hits 1,000 points, and most people know that, or the other team hits 0. A lot of people don't know that. It's a mercy rule designed to prevent players from sitting in hopeless games. But in practice, it often ends battles way too early. Picture this. Your team is behind, but you've still got a couple of destroyers alive, maybe a battleship pushing into position. You're thinking, okay, we can still turn this around, but then suddenly game over. Scoreboard hits 1,000. How many times have you guys been there? I have been there a lot. And the chances of a comeback disappear instantly. It's one of the reasons why games feel so short and unsatisfying when there's blowouts. It's not just that your team lost, it's that the system doesn't even let the game breathe long enough to feel competitive. The next big issue is the skill gap in the player base itself. World of Warships has what a lot of people like to call missing middle. Over time, the truly average players often just drift away from the game. That leaves just 2 dominant groups, highly skilled veterans with thousands of games under their belts, and the brand new potatoes who are still fighting to figure out, the WASD keys. So what happens when matchmaking throws these 2 groups together? Exactly what you think, actually. The veterans crush the rookies, and the scoreboard reflects this in a brutal fashion. It's not unusual to see a game where one team still has 8 to 9 ships left alive, or even more, while the other side has been completely decimated and deleted. This polarization of player base makes close, even-fought matches rare, and that's why so many of us feel like every game is a blowout, because the middle ground that used to create balance just isn't there anymore. It's gone. Alright, let's talk about divisions, and I got a personal story about this one. A division, as you know, is 3 players who queue together, often in voice comms, or most likely on Discord. And here's the thing, 3 good players working together can swing an entire match overnight. A few years ago, I was playing against 12 on 12 randoms. It was high tier, tier 10. And the division on the other team, we had no divisions in our team. They were combined. They had over 110,000 games. The guy in the Des Moines had more games in the Des Moines than our entire division put together. We didn't even have over 8,500 random games for 12 players. You guess what happened? They mopped the entire team. It was a blow. It was 12-0. They just destroyed us. It was a joke. They can focus fire, they screen for each other, they call out flanks, and they usually coordinate consumables. Meanwhile, the other team might have no division at all, just 12 random players doing their own thing. The imbalance is massive. Imagine 3 destroyers working together in a division. They'll control spotting, grab caps, and overwhelm isolated enemies before the rest of your team can even react. Or 3 cruisers like 3 Des Moines, focusing down your battleships one by one. The power of coordination in a game as punishing as World of Warships cannot be overstated. And when matchmaking drops a strong division on one team and none on the other, you guessed it, it's just another blowout. Even the maps contribute to this problem, as I showed in the last video. Some maps are designed with cap zones or island clusters that inherently favor one spawn over the other. One team might spawn closer to a key cap or have a better approach angle to contest it, while the other team has to sail wide and waste precious time. When your team starts from a positional disadvantage and combine that with just 1 or 2 weaker players on a flank, it's enough to tilt the balance completely and quite quickly. And since most players don't adapt to the map, they just charge to their usual positions, these spawn imbalances play out again and again, leading to matches that feel predetermined before the first salvo is even fired. And then, of course, there's my favorite, the player behavior. Let's be honest, how many times have you seen a destroyer suicide rush a cap in the first 60 seconds of a game, get spotted, and instantly vaporized? Or one of my favorites, a battleship sails broadside in front of 4 enemy heavy cruisers and disappears in a few salvos. Part of this is inexperience, but part of it is also mission and directives. Players chase torpedo hits, potential damage, or cap ribbons, and they play reckless to do it. Instead of playing smart for the team win, they play selfishly for mission progress, or just damage in general. And remember, this is a game where there's no respawns except for the one game mode. Every YOLO, unless you're the Palo Amido, every suicide rush, every rage quit permanently cripples a team. Those kinds of plays don't just hurt, they accelerate the blowout. Heck, I'm now seeing aircraft carriers in the first 2 to 3 minutes rushing into caps at tier 10. Seriously. So what can Wargaming actually do to fix this? Well, there are a few things that would at least improve the situation. First off, skill-based matchmaking. Not strict, like ranked, but at least balance the average PR or win rate across both teams, so the skill levels aren't wildly lopsided. Now, next one, division balancing. Ensure that if one team has a triple division, the other team does so too, or at least prevent the strongest players from always stacking together. Alright, map spawn tweaks. Revisit maps that consistently favor one spawn and adjust them so both teams have equal access to key caps and firing lanes. Now, the point system rework. Raise the score cap or adjust how points are gained and lost so games don't end before both teams really have a chance to get into the fight, especially the late game. Now, mission structure. Redesign the directives so they reward smart play, not reckless suicides. Things like spotting damage and potential tank damage and survival could be weighed more heavily. And the last I want to say is divisions that take toxic ships. Whether it's the new Italian 1 destroyer, the Smolensk, etc. There's even someone out there doing that right now and thinks it's funny to take a division of 2 or 3 people of the new Italian destroyer that goes daka daka daka. That should just not be allowed. If you're going to go in the same division, you don't get to take the same ships. That's just a no. Period. None of these fixes would eliminate blowouts completely. Random matchmaking will always have swings, but they could at least reduce the frequency of those "why did I even bother" 5-minute stomp games. So there you have it. The real reason behind bad matchmaking, constant blowouts, and why games in World of Warships so often feel short and unsatisfying. Some of this is just the nature of a no-respawn naval game, but a lot of it comes down to design decisions that Wargaming could address if they wanted to. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think World of Warships should introduce skill-based matchmaking? Should they rework maps and point systems? Or are blowouts just a part of the game and we need to accept it? Drop your thoughts in the comment. I read them all the time and answer, and you know that. And hey, if you want to, take a look in front of you. You're going to see 2 more videos. Feel free to click on one because they're actually really good content. But as always, take care, stay safe. I wish you all the best. Bye for now.